My thumb knows the pattern, like a prayer I stopped believing in, but never stopped reciting. And what keeps me up at night, 2 years, 7 months, 19 days later, is that I had that number memorized the whole time, and I never called. His name was David, older than me by 4 years. We had the kind of falling out that doesn't start with a bang. It starts with Tuesday dinners getting rescheduled, birthday texts replacing birthday calls. We should get together soon, becoming the most dishonest sentence in the English language. Thanksgiving, 2019, Mom's dining room table. The one with the scratch from when David and I were sword fighting with wrapping paper tubes. 8 and 11. Dad had been gone 3 years. Mom asked if one of us could manage the rental property he left behind. The duplex on Chambers Street. She didn't even say who. David looked at me. I looked at David. And 30 years of keeping score came crashing through the ceiling. David was the one who moved back to Columbus after college. The one who showed up every Sunday, drove Mom to appointments, cleaned the gutters without being asked. Not because he was better, because he was there. And I was in Portland, building my career, building my excuse for absence. The one who showed up every Sunday, drove Mom to appointments, cleaned the gutters without being asked. Not because he was better, because he was there. And I was in Portland, building my career, building my excuse for absence, telling myself that success was its own form of showing up. So when he gave me that look, the one that says, "We both know who's doing this," something snapped. Not because he was wrong, because he was right. And being right was the one thing I could never let David have without a fight. I said, "Why don't you do it, Dave? You're already doing everything else." Meant as a compliment. But there's a particular poison in complimenting someone for the sacrifice you benefit from. And David tasted every drop. He set his fork down, cranberry sauce still on his plate. I stared at it so I wouldn't have to see his face. He said, "You know what, Marcus? You're right. I've been doing everything else since Dad died. Since you decided that being impressive was more important than being present. Being impressive was more important than being present. That hit me like a car wreck. And what do you do when someone says something that true at your mother's Thanksgiving table? If you're proud, you go surgical. You find the wound that ends the fight fastest. I said, maybe if you'd spent less time being the dutiful son, you'd have something of your own to show for it. The room went so quiet. I heard the kitchen faucet. David stood, put his napkin on the table, and walked out. Didn't say a word. That's how I knew. David always had words. His silence was a door locking. I flew back to Portland the next morning, told myself he'd cool off, told myself all the lies proud people tell when they've drawn blood and can't face it. Pride is just shame wearing a better suit, and I wore mine for 3 years. Christmas came. Didn't call. His birthday. Didn't call. My birthday. He didn't call either. And I felt vindicated. Which tells you the kind of sickness I was living in. I was keeping score on silence, winning a game nobody wanted to play. Mom tried. She'd call Saturday mornings, drop breadcrumbs. David fixed the faucet today. David took me to that Italian place on 5th. She was building bridges, hoping I'd follow. I never did. I'd say, "That's nice, Mom," in my flattest voice. And she'd go quiet, and I'd hear her not crying, which is louder than crying. I'd pull up his contact every few weeks, stare at his name. David, little house emoji, from when he bought the bungalow on 15th Avenue. Then I'd put the phone down. Sorry felt too small. Explanation felt too late. Calling without either felt like surrender. I don't know who taught me that reconciliation is the same as losing, but I believed it like gospel. June 14th, 2022. I got promoted. Regional director. Corner office. Standing there looking at the Portland skyline, my first unfiltered thought was, David would be proud of me. Not impressed, proud. There's a difference. Impressive is what strangers give you. Proud is what family gives you. And you can't earn it across 2,000 miles of silence. I picked up the phone, dialed 4 digits. My assistant knocked. Client waiting. I told myself I'd call after. After became tomorrow. Tomorrow was a word I used like a credit card, buying comfort now, paying interest forever. 3 weeks later. Mom called at 6 in the morning. I knew before I answered. The phone doesn't ring different, but your body knows. Some animal part of you understands. The world just lost a door. David, heart attack, 47. Collapsed in aisle 6 of his hardware store, between the wood stain and the sandpaper. Gone before paramedics arrived. Standing in my corner office, Mom's voice dissolving into sounds I will hear for the rest of my life. My first thought was not, I should have called. It was, he left first. Like dying was another round in our fight. That's how broken pride had made me. At the funeral, Karen handed me a shoebox from his closet. Inside, a photo of us at the Scioto River. 1997. Me, Twee. Lev, him 16. Holding a catfish too small to keep. Grinning like we'd caught a whale. A keychain from his store with my initials. And a birthday card. Sealed. Dated March 2022. The birthday he didn't call for. I opened it in the parking lot. Hands shaking so badly I tore the envelope. Marcus, I know you'll call when you're ready. I'll be here. Happy birthday, little brother. D. He was waiting for me. Every day of those 3 years, he was waiting, and he never doubted I'd call. He just ran out of time. Before I ran out of pride. I carry that card in my wallet. Creased, ink smearing. People carry pictures of their kids. I carry proof of what I wasted. I'm not here for sympathy. This story isn't special. It's ordinary. That's the terrifying part. 2 people who love each other, standing on opposite sides of a door, both waiting for the other to knock, both convinced knocking means losing, both losing everything by waiting. You are running out of time for someone right now, and you don't even know it. That's not metaphor. That's Tuesday. A regular, unremarkable Tuesday. Somewhere, a heart is beating its last 1,000 beats, and someone who loves that heart is sitting in another city, staring at a phone, thinking, tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There's this call, this drive, this knock on the door, this 2-word sentence. I'm sorry. It costs nothing but your pride. And your pride is the thing you will bury your loved ones with, still in your pocket. So who is it? Whose name just flashed in your head? Because a name did appear. I saw some of you flinch. That flinch is your answer. That's the call. Make it. Today. Not tomorrow. I promise you, you don't want to memorize a number. You'll never dial again.